Kia ora, good afternoon. So, I was just cleaning out my photos and all of that, just getting rid of junk, basically. I've been putting it off for years. Like double screenshots and bollocks that's like nothing to do with anything, that's taking up space on my phone. And I've been putting it off doing it for years, but I started doing it today, this morning, and this afternoon, deleting a pile of stuff. And I found some interesting things that I had forgotten I had taken screenshots of. The email that you're going to read in my posts and the links in the description box is an email of my husband Martin thanking me for introducing him to the pedophile and the groomer, making up lies about how I was divulging classified information to my students, which wasn't true. That was Rocio, and you've seen the screenshots of her, because I took it to Donald Trump and I said, she's divulging top secret information. It's all on my ex. I can bring it all up to prove it. They were trying to make out like I knew it. I knew they were trying to say that I was a threat to national security, when it was actually Rocio. She was a threat to Donald Trump, who was president at the time. She was the one that was telling me that they were locking the phones down. And then all my military boys were coming to me and saying the same thing. I've got tweets about it. There was nothing hidden. There was no government top secret, nothing classified, nothing about nothing. I refused to even give these boys information away. All the stuff that my students were told were all to do with their training when I was teaching them how to help people with PTSD to deal with paranormal activity. The only stuff I was helping those boys with was their PTSD. The stuff they were sending me that is classified has remained classified. I've not put any of this stuff out. Nobody's seen a thing about any of the classified stuff that I was showing. And my intuition knew that they were setting me up. If you see, I wrote little notes on pieces of paper because I'm always writing notes. If you click on the photos, you'll see the dates and times of when I knew that my students were getting ready to set me up. And then I get that email from Martin. I wasn't accusing him of cheating, but I was questioning why so many women were starting to contact him on Facebook. And then I found out that his friend Chris had set up a dating thing for him. I have a copy of the letter. What I didn't know was that he was seeing the child groomer, Courtney. And you'll see the email from him where he's actually thanking me for introducing him to a pedophile and a child groomer. And the people who ended up protecting everyone on the Epstein list. He's literally thanking me for introducing him to people connected to the international pedophile ring, who I have been fighting since 2016. So everything I've just posted is proof that my husband Martin Arce, that Nikki Faircloth, Beth Noonan Bothright, Michelle Grant, Rocio Ray Nunez, Courtney Doak, Christopher Black, all of them were teaming up behind my back to accuse me of being a threat to national security, because they were planning on taking me down and taking the glory for themselves. I'm wondering whether Rocio isn't Tia Darling or Paper Dolls Productions, to be honest. You will see conversations I had with her where she's thanking me for saving her life. If it wasn't for you, I would have killed myself in Korea, quote unquote. And yet I'm a threat to national security as soon as I start figuring out that there's an international pedophile ring. Rocio was the one who tried to kiss my son. My husband left me for her. My friend, they got to my best friend through her. and it's all there. It was all sitting there. He's suing Collins Correctional. You'll see an email that I got where I'm having a conversation with Nikki, where I got contacted by his counsellor saying that he's going to trial. And I'm pretty sure it's to do with that drug deal where he tried to get me to put drugs in that letter that I have under the bed. When I contacted Collins the other day and said, I have information you might find interesting. That trial that he's been put on, I'm pretty sure that's to do with the drugs. So they were setting me up because they were all protecting Donald Trump and the pedophiles on the Epstein list. I don't know what they promised to try and do it, but every single one of them lied. And that email he's talking about, he's basically admitted that they lied to shut me up and get Martin away from me. And the thing that pisses me off is they went to my best friend Jose, and I lost him too because of these lies that you're seeing in the last 3 posts. He believed them. I haven't given away anything. I haven't shown anything. I've released nothing. I have stated from day one I'd go to prison to protect the identities of those soldiers. My students couldn't tell you a single name of any one of my military boys. They couldn't tell you a single thing that they told me. I wouldn't let them near them. I only told them about the paranormal activity because I was trying to teach them how to deal with it so that when I got to America we could make these shows. I can't believe my husband's thanking me for introducing him to pedophiles and child groomers. He slept with the pedophile. He slept with the child groomer. My husband, who was supposed to help me protect children from trafficking and pedophiles, including from across the border because he's an illegal immigrant, he would rather have conspired to kill me and take me down to steal everything from me rather than stop me from protecting kids like him. He said that I was calling his mother a bitch. You can see in Spanish a conversation that I had with his mother. I had a lovely relationship with Maria. But you'll also see a message from Rocio where she's the one bad-mouthing Maria. They failed the Judas test. Feed them a drop of blood and see what they do with it. They had a feeding frenzy. But what I didn't realise was, I was right about everything then. Rocio went to Donald Trump, who was president at the time, and told them I was a threat to national security. That's why I've been hacked. It's why I've been bugged. It's why my phone's been messed with. I lost my sons. And I lost my best friend. Because of demons who prey on children and vulnerable women so that they could get away with their crimes of hurting children and vulnerable women. Martin was targeting vulnerable, lonely, older women to get money from, to get sympathy from, to get what he wanted, while the whole time having a secret relationship with the child groomer that very nearly landed his so-called best friend back in prison. And if it wasn't for me, Kevin would not have been released. And that's how I got treated. because I was starting to figure stuff out. And they thought if we don't do something to shut her up and take her down, she's going to expose every single one of us. But because I was being drugged at the time, you see, and I was being starved, I had to fight through starvation. I had to fight through being systematically poisoned by the people around me, by the father of my children, to stop me from figuring out what they were all doing behind closed doors. I had to break through all of that. I had to fight through the whole lot just to get where I am today. Where I am now, still risking my life to protect America from an international paedophile ring that now includes my husband, my former students, the father of my children. And the only person that I don't blame out of all of this is my ex-best friend, because I know that he was lied to, that they got into his head, and he's just an idiot. He fell for it. He was looking for every reason under the sun not to love me. He was looking for every reason not to admit that I was his favourite person in the whole world. So when they fed him the poison, he drank it. They got more of my best friend than I did. But the part of him that I did have was his real part, his true self. He was going to help me build my server. All the stuff that I'm building, that I'm talking about, he was supposed to be a part of it, and they took him away from me because I was figuring out that they were all child groomers and pedophiles and people who slept with them or were making money by protecting them and looking the other way. They were all predators who preyed on women or who kept their mouth shut. These were all women in my group who were turning a blind eye to the filthy, disgusting men who were preying on vulnerable women, and some of those women were preying on children, including my own children. And when I was figuring stuff out, they knew if they didn't work fast enough, if I got to America, Trump would never be president. He wouldn't have been president the second time around. So that Igor movie, because I had quite the following. People trusted me. People were listening. People are listening to me now. Have you seen what's happening in Ireland since the stuff I posted this morning? They're all now calling this thing in Ireland a World Economic Forum takedown. People are starting to listen to me. And you can't deny the words from my husband's own mouth, and they're all lies. I will take the names of my military boys to the grave. I wouldn't give them up if I was forced to in a court of law. I would rather go to prison than give up their names. I would rather go to prison than give up the information that they gave me. They gave it to me, trusting me that I would make public the information that I trusted to take public. Like Project Bluebeam. Everybody knows about Project Bluebeam. That's not classified information. The stuff I made public was stuff I was given to make public because they trusted that I would take the information that would be safe to make public, knowing that I would be the target and not them. I spoke on behalf of the military boys. So they're all lying. They all lied. Because I was figuring them out. I figured it out. And I knew Rocio was behind it. I knew she was behind it. That conversation where you see I'm talking to Nikki and I'm saying it's Rocio, and she's like, who? I'm saying Rocio's the one. Rocio is the one who started this whole reason as to why I never got to America the first time, because of jealousy. And see, she was talking about writing in her notebook because she loses her temper very easily. And remember I told you when she came to visit, my son Thomas yelled at her in public and told her to grow up because she was packing a tantrum in this place we took her to just before we took her to the airport, because I had an ex-husband and a husband who loved me and it wasn't fair. And so Thomas had had enough of her whining and whinging and complaining, and he goes, oh my God. He said, will you shut up? So I'm scratching my knee. He was what, 8.5, 9? And he said she was an embarrassment. And then when she went back to Germany, it was not long after that I stopped talking to her. Because then, my boy came and told me about how she tried to kiss him, and then that's when everything started falling apart, and I knew it was her. I knew it was her. I knew it. I just intuitively knew it. And there's that screenshot of the counsellor talking about Martin going to trial, being put in a holding thing, like the box or something, until he goes to trial. Remember I was saying I was talking to his lawyer about it because of that drug deal, the people getting caught with the drugs, and he denied it. And then I'm pretty sure he sued Collins for it. But it's true, I have the letter under the bed where he was trying to talk me into putting acid on the paper and I wouldn't do it. And then it was not long after that, like a few months after that, this woman, who I think her name was Deborah, was caught passing drugs to her man in prison, and he was implicated in it. And then they couldn't pin anything on him, and then he decided he was going to sue the prison, I think. But I have proof under the bed that he was trying to get me to pass drugs to him through the letter using acid, LSD stuff. And I said to Collins Correctional, when I contacted them, I'm happy to send you the letter if you want a copy. But he wasn't just dealing drugs in prison, he was having relationships with child groomers and pedophiles, female pedophiles. And then when I started figuring everything out, they all decided to try and kill me and shut me down and steal all my stuff. And I had to survive all of that. I knew she'd gone to Donald Trump. I knew it. I knew she had. Because if he was innocent, all the information I was telling him about her, he would have had her and Martin and that arrested by the FBI and the Secret Service, because she was the one that was giving classified information away that put Donald Trump's life in danger. And I was trying to protect him. I thought I was protecting him. When I got locked up because of them, I thought I was protecting Donald Trump from Rocio. And it turns out they were all in on it. And the only reason why I'm upset is because I lost my best friend and my sons. They took the 3 most important males from my life away from me because they believed the lies. I can't believe I have an email from my husband thanking me for introducing him to pedophiles and child groomers and people who turn a blind eye to pedophiles and child groomers. I'm starting to wonder whether she's not Tia Darlin and Paper Doll Productions. Now my ex-best friend, when all this goes public, and it will go public, I promise you, my story's going to break and go worldwide. People are going to know my name because it forced me to have to unfold myself. It forced me to have to expose who I was, what I was becoming, what I was training for. It forced me to have to grow my wings really fast in order to protect America from what Donald Trump and Keir Starmer and the EU are currently trying to get away with. Had they not have did what they did, Martin and Rocio, and that, we may have all been able to get rid of this a lot faster than I was able to, because I was figuring stuff out too fast and they didn't like that. They needed to buy enough time to get Donald Trump and Keir Starmer into power. So lock me up, call me crazy, poison me. They did this to me in June of 2022. They both came into power June and November of 24. And that's when I jumped on the trail of Keir Starmer and the EU and Donald Trump from the February, when those plane crashes. So I was right. They were helping Donald Trump by lying about me to the FBI and Secret Service. And you have to understand, she works with the Secret Service. She works in telecommunications for the Air Force. She had to have Secret Service clearance to do her job when they transferred her from Korea to Germany. Hence why that number from Germany, from Gerstadt, or however you pronounce it, the number doesn't exist anymore. It got shut down after it called my phone and played my voice back. And I reckon that they used my voice to use AI to fake things. Like, I already know that they faked photos. I reckon they used my voice to fake stuff as well, because when I picked up the phone, my voice was played back to me and it echoed really bad. So I hung up and they rang back, but I didn't say anything the second time round. And then when I traced the number, because it came up with the location in Germany and I knew it was her, and when I traced it, it was traced back to the air base next door to her Air Force. So she has Secret Service clearance. She has access to the FBI. And I was trying to warn the FBI and Donald Trump about her. And it turns out they already knew because she'd gone to them first. I can't believe I have an email of my husband thanking me for introducing him to a child groomer and a pedophile, and then accusing me of divulging classified information that could get them 100 years in prison, which was all a lie. He was looking for an excuse to get rid of me because I asked him if I could stop working so that I could focus on writing my book, which was called Andre's Dragon, which is now called Lucian's Dragon, because I won't have him anywhere near that book. I'm even changing the names of the town from Old York to Aboracom to something completely different. I just haven't come up with the name yet. He was not happy when I said I wouldn't be making money, because I wanted to focus on writing and get this book published, because I knew what I was writing was going to end up being something really special. Lucian's Dragon became the Amber Rose, became the first sign, the rebirth of the ninth element. The 3 movies that are going to go down in history for me. They're going to make big things happen for my foundation, and they needed to stop me from writing that book and getting it published. They needed to stop me from getting to America to save children, because then otherwise their puppet masters wouldn't have access to the children my foundation was trying to save. They were never going to help me, because to help me would have stopped children from getting rescued from the people who were paying them to try and shut me up, the pedophiles, the international child traffickers. Some of them are teachers who work in schools with children. Michelle Grant and Beth Noonan Bothright are teachers, and Beth works for a Catholic school. They're teachers who have access to children, and even worse, Beth has access to, Michelle has access to disabled children, children with disabilities, and the pedos love children with disabilities. And they all protected Martin and his relationship with Rocio and Courtney, and Chris with his relationship with Santaro and Rocio. And I lost my best friend. And I lost my sons. But I didn't lose the war, because I'm still here. And now my wingspan is immeasurable, and the things I have created out of my fight to survive, the devils and demons who were sent to try and take me down, that I've had to fight on my own in order to get to America to protect those bloody children, has made me the most powerful woman in the world. And I know that the people that I go to, according to my teacher, will welcome me with open arms because of it. Because America's going to realise exactly what I did for them. And they will welcome me with open arms because I'm taking Donald Trump down. If it's the last thing I do, I'm taking that man down, and Keir Starmer, and Martin Arce, and Christopher Blake, and all the rest of them. I'm taking their whole entire cult down. Because now I know I was telling the truth the entire time. When I take this to court, I'm going to drown them in lawsuits. They will not be able to breathe. Such will be the stranglehold that I have on them, their reputations, their careers, and their finances. And then I will get to America with my head held high. Not a broken wing in sight. I used to say I had scars on my back and broken wings. Not anymore. I'm healed. I might still have scars on my body, but my wings aren't broken. And I want my divorce. I want an annulment. I want to erase that filthy little monster out of the history books having anything to do with any association with me. He's disgusting. He's a wimp. He's a coward. He doesn't deserve to be called King Ace. He's not a king at all. He's a court jester. He's a joke. He's a predator. He preys on women, just like Chris. Like attracts like, eh? And Rhea Brown, Rocio Ray Nunez, Nikki Faircloth, Michelle Grant, Beth Noonan Bothright, they couldn't do enough to help them because they failed the Judas test. I didn't fail the Judas test. I passed it within like a day and a half. So, that's why I'm the chosen one. So I'm coming for you, Donald Trump. I'm coming for you, Keir Starmer. I'm coming for you, Martin. I'm coming for you, Chris. I'm coming for the whole damn lot of you. I'm tearing all of that shit down because now that I know that I was telling the truth about everything, and now that I've seen that email and the lies that they told, and I've found that evidence of the trial that I just remembered the other day where he's suing that prison because he's a coward who won't own up to the crimes he committed. If they paid him any money, I'll need to contact them again and say, I have more information for you. And then maybe they'll let me do my comic book program there. That would be so cool and so beautifully ironic if it turns out Collins Correctional Facility lets me do my Beyond Life program there, even if I'm in South Dakota. As a way of saying thanks for saving them this court case. Because he'll go to prison because it's perjury and he's on probation. I mean, he might not be now, but, you know, he lied to sue the prison for something that he's guilty of doing. But they had no evidence, but I have the evidence under my bed. I also have the evidence that what he's saying about me divulging classified information is a lie, because you can clearly see it was Rocio that was divulging classified information, because I took it to Donald Trump myself. I didn't realise he was in on it. Because the Democrats and Republicans, they all talk to each other. I knew that Hillary Clinton was watching me, but she would have been running back to him. And then when Rocio said what she said, it would have been all the more reason for them to conspire to take me down. That's when they brought Chris in on it. It was around about 2018, I started finding evidence of him. It was actually Thomas. Do you remember that time Dad found the weed? He kept finding this magical weed in places where he shouldn't have been finding magical weed. And they were slowly trying to poison me through the weed. I haven't smoked weed in about 5-6 months. It's not something I have access to all the time. It's illegal and I can't afford it. I can't afford to be getting into any trouble, but he was miraculously finding it. And then putting the cocaine in the weed. And then, you know, I have all the evidence from Mikey saying, oh, we've got this special weed we need you to try. And you're going to be the first person in the world to try it. Someone who's racked with as much pain as I am isn't going to turn down weed that's going to take the pain away. I don't hide the fact that I smoke weed when I can get my hands on it. It's just not something I can get my hands on all the time. But since I've been taking the oregano oil, the pain isn't as bad. It's only scar pain I get now. It hasn't done anything for the scar pain, but for the inflammation and the internal stuff, it's done absolute wonders for me. I still wouldn't say no to the occasional joint. I'm not going to lie. It's a plant. It's a weed. We've been smoking it for centuries. The only reason why it's illegal is because they can't tax it. But anyway, I'm going to go now, but I can't believe what I found. I was just innocently, it's all stuff I've been putting off to the last minute. So, America, I'm fighting for you, babes. And I'll get rid of your president for you. Don't worry about it. I'll take his whole administration down. But I need to take Martin and Rocio and Nikki and all that down as well, if you don't mind. And then once this is all over and done with and Keir Starmer's out the way and the EU's getting ripped to shreds, if you don't mind, I'd like to come to America, because you know I've got your back. I have, I think, earned my visa now. So if you'll have me, I'll set up in South Dakota. I'll get my school started with all the money that I'll make from suing their fat paedophile asses. And then I'll use it to help you all and help your children and help kids like that, Jess. And then we will make our own version of Harry Potter, and we will make our own version of Doctor Who, and we'll make America great again. We'll make America better than it ever was in the arts and entertainment industry, because Hollywood's dead. but the foundation has been born as a result of it. We'll be the new Disney. We're just going to be a different version. And I'll take care of all your African American, First Nations, freak, geek, nerd, dork and weirdo needs. I'll take your children and I'll look after them. So I'm going to go now. I feel like I've just been given a massive power up. I'm just sad I lost my best friend. I'll never have with him what I had with any other friend. He was like the comfy pair of pyjamas for me. He was home for me. I was just looking at photos of me in Salem when I was clearing out all the junk. And I was just saying, I just said it out loud, I met you in that foyer of that hotel, Jose. That's where I met you. When I ran round the corner and threw my arms around you, I was sitting in that foyer. We walked through that foyer, I was saying. And then I found all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. I was right about everything. And I got locked up for it too. Those doctors, those cops didn't investigate a single thing. And now I have proof about it all. So if you click on the photos, you'll see the dates of when I took them and that as well. But everything else speaks for itself. So I keep praying for the return of my sons. I keep praying that they see the truth. I will never stop fighting for justice, but I've resigned myself to the fact that I lost my best friend. I think that what happened between us can't be fixed. I tried reaching out, but I guess he hates me too much. But you know, it is what it is. I've got my closure from it, so I'm okay. I'll find my best friend and my true love. But I'm okay with it now. I gave myself closure. Just like with losing Amber, I can't bring the dead back. I can only keep them in my memory. So I'm going to go. And I shall speak to you later. Bloody hell, what a day. Ka kite anō. Mwah.